Before I start, Chairman, I'm going to pass up some information. Just to let you know, Mrs. Gosnell couldn't be here today due to her work schedule. However, she did submit in a letter, and I can read this to you before I pass it forward. She also resubmitted some photographs of her daughter afterwards to show that she has scarred. She wanted that in the file. Also, I'm going to actually pass up some pictures basically of Gianna, who was my first victim. This is her mother and seated to my right. Her bite did not break the skin. However, they did come in and report it, so you can physically see the marks on her face. I do have some pictures of the dog in question, which is Java, and also the warning letter that was issued to the dog owner in reference to that incident, the first incident. The second incident and stuff, I'm also submitting medical reports and stuff on Mrs. Gosnell's daughter, as well as photographs of her daughter when she went to the ER. It was minor in nature. They did glue her, however, there was no stitching, but we did go ahead and issue the potentially dangerous order on the dog while we're here today. And I'll go ahead and read her statement once I go through my opening. So on March 17th of 2015, Animal Control received a bite report from Police Communications that 3-year-old Bria Gosnell was bitten in the nose and forehead by a dog from 1900 Ridgewick Road in Glen Burnie also. During the investigation, learned that the dog is Java, a 2-year-old pit bull owned by Melissa Ireland from 1900 Ridgewick Road and Java has bitten before on February 24th of 2015 to a 2.5-year-old Gianna Sorondo of 5038 Durham Road East, Columbia, Maryland 21044. Is that correct?
Durham Road East, yep.
Durham Road, okay.
D-U-R-H-A-M. Yep.
All right. Andrea Smith and her daughter Gianna was at 1900 Ridgewick Road in Glen Burnie for hair care with a friend, Allison Dodson. Andrea and her friend Allison Dodson came into Animal Control with her daughter Gianna to report this bite incident. This is the prior incident that I'm going over, so not to confuse you. Allison Dodson advised that she witnessed the bite incident with Gianna. She explained that she went over to Melissa's so that Andrea could get her hair done. Allison advised that she was only about 7 feet away from Gianna and Cadence, Melissa's daughter, playing. The two dogs at the house were downstairs, Malibu, a golden retriever, and Java, a pit bull. The dogs were playing, jumping around as normal. Gianna ran over to her mother. She didn't have her shoes on. Allison advises she didn't want Gianna to slip and fall, so she was watching her. Gianna was standing next to the chair and Java was also there. Allison advised that Gianna was petting Java on the top of her head, and then all of a sudden Java looked up at her and snapped. She went right for Gianna's face. Andrea and Allison advised that she had marks on her face but did not break her skin and needed this reported. While Andrea and Allison were here at Animal Control with Gianna, I looked at her face and observed some superficial scrapes and redness. She would not let me take any photos of her face, so Allison sent me photos via email, which you do have that, of what she observed at the incident. We also asked her to send a statement. I then contacted Melissa Ireland and advised her that the bite was reported, even though it did not break Gianna's skin. I advised that I observed her wound area here at Animal Control and advised her if the dog was asked if the dog was current on rabies vaccine. Melissa advised that her dog Java is current on rabies vaccine through Everhart Animal Hospital. I explained that since it did not break this child's skin, that her dog did not have to be quarantined. I asked her to send in a statement of what happened. I did not receive a statement from her. I did advise her at the time that a warning letter would be issued, that she needed to place the dog in a secured area if she has people over to prevent further incidences, and if we do receive any reports, the Animal Control would impound her animal. On March 17, 2015, I contacted Bria's mother, Kelly Gosnell. I asked her to send in a statement of an incident that happened with her child presently, and if Bria received any sutures. She did advise that she was there for hair care with Melissa when Bria was bitten in the face by Melissa's pit bull Java. Animal Control requested the child's medical records, in which indicated the child was presented with a dog bite to the face. No sutures. They glued the wounds on her forehead and nose. Due to the prior incident with this dog, I contacted Mrs. Island on March 17th and advised her she needs to bring Java in under quarantine and public safety investigation due to the fact the warning that was issued for the first facial bite. She advised that she was giving the dog away, and I stressed to her that I needed information of the new owner of where the dog was going to be, and she kept advising that she was heading out to David's Bridal and the dog was leaving today, and the child opened the door of where the dog was kept, and Java only scratched her with her paw. I advised her to send me a statement via email. I asked her if the dog was at the house. She advised yes, and I explained that I can send an officer down to impound her dog under public safety law and for the quarantine under the state law. I explained to her in the length of rabies shots to the child if the dog was not brought in for animal control. After a few minutes of discussion, Melissa agreed to bring the dog in under quarantine the next day. March 18, 2015, Melissa Ireland brought her dog Java in for quarantine and under public safety investigation. On the 19th, Kelly Gosnell sent in a statement of the incident and photos of her daughter and her wounds on her face, which you have in your packets. Ms. Gosnell advised that on the evening of Friday at approximately 7:15, she arrived at Melissa's house for her hair appointment. She explained that both dogs were out when they arrived. She advised that she sat her daughter next to Melissa's daughter at a kitchen table to eat. Kelly advised that she went downstairs to start her hair. The kids went into the bedroom to watch a movie. Kelly then advised at approximately 8:30 p.m. her daughter came down the stairs to talk. She reached the top of the steps and they heard crying. Melissa's boyfriend went to check on her and called them to come up. Bria was bleeding from her forehead and her nose. Bria stated the dog did it. Kelly advised that she brought her downstairs and called her husband to come and get her to take her to the emergency room. Melissa got out a medical kit and Kelly stated she placed butterfly sutures on her as well as a Band-Aid to stop the bleeding. Kelly advised that in the ER, Bria told the doctor that she was walking up the steps and the dog was there in her face, so she tried to hug the dog and it roared at her and she was bleeding. The hospital was Baltimore Washington Medical Center and they did glue her wounds according to the medical records that you now have in front of you. On March 19, 2015, I received an email statement from the dog owner, Melissa Ireland. On March 20th, 2015, Animal Control issued a potential dangerous order on Java per County Code Article 12-402 Public Safety. The order was sent to owner Melissa Ireland by email for signature. Java is still in our care and custody at this point. Mrs. Ireland and I spoke of the reasoning for her appeal. She can go into more detail with you about it and understanding she is kind of making some corrections at the house. And seated to my right, this is Bria's mom. Oh, Gianna's mom and stuff. She wanted to come in. Unfortunately, again, I said Kelly couldn't be here because of her job. And she can give you more insight in reference to the prior incident, why the warning was issued.
Just want me to kind of start.
Go ahead.
Sorry. My friend is Allison, who is engaged to Melissa's brother, Jimmy. And she does hair of her home. She has a full setup salon in half of her basement, and the other half is the living room. And Allison has always come there and done her hair and said she does a great job. You should come over. And Gianna's back there, and she comes with me. And I've only been twice. The first time I went, I didn't see any dogs in the house, and I went there with Gianna, and she played really nicely with her daughter, and they had a great time. Hair was happy. It was great. So the second time I came, Allison also went with me, and when we came into the house, we were greeted by the two dogs. I have a dog. I have a Shar-Pei, and my dog's had her own incidences, so I'm very familiar with the processes of what happened. And when people come to my home, I keep my dog away from everybody and have her locked in a room because I can't trust her around other people because my dog bit a dog. But anyway, so I go into the house with Gianna. The dogs didn't bark, they didn't growl, they didn't do anything like that whatsoever. We went to the basement, the kids were playing. Gianna's petting the back of the dog. I asked what kind of dog it was. She said it's a pit bull. I've seen very nice pit bulls. I don't think that they're all bad dogs. And the dog just in an instant turned and bit at my daughter's face. And my daughter flew back and was crying. She smashed into like one of those hairdresser carts or whatever. She flew back to get away from the dog. And I was probably not even 3 feet away from her when the incident happened. I was very close to her. Picked her up, I'm holding her, she's crying. I can't even look at her face because she's clinging to me so badly, and I'm like obviously scared. And my friend Allison, I said, is she bleeding? She says, no, she's okay, but she has marks. And Allison went upstairs. While that was happening, Melissa grabbed her dog and removed the dog from the situation, put the dog outside, and it was freezing cold temperatures. The dog was outside. Long story short, Melissa asked me, what did Gianna do to provoke the dog? My child's very familiar. We have our dog. She's great with our dog. She knows to be gentle. She was genuinely, I'm watching it happen. Melissa's mixing my hair color, petting the back of the dog. I said nothing. An argument pursued, and then I stated in that my concern is that we have an accountability as a pet owner. If you have an aggressive dog, that we need to protect people and make people aware of that situation. She stated that the dog never did anything like that before, and Gianna wasn't bleeding, and I went to take Gianna and say, okay, we're just gonna leave, because she hadn't started my hair, and Gianna looked at me and said, no, Mommy, I don't go, I'm sorry, because she went to play with her daughter. So I proceeded to stay because I didn't want my daughter to think that all dogs were bad, and I didn't want to create a situation, have her be permanently scarred, because I think it's important for her to understand that you just have to be careful still. And then we left an hour later, and I came here to Animal Control because I didn't want this to happen to another child. I think you have a responsibility as a pet owner, if you have an aggressive breed, to do the right thing and make sure nothing happens. We were very lucky. I'm incredibly lucky that nothing else happened to my daughter. And when I was talking to Melissa, she kept saying nothing ever happened like this before. Her kids have been bitten before. They were fine. And I just didn't feel that she really understood the gravity of the situation. And so that's why I went and filed the initial report, because she runs a business out of her home, and people are in and out all day long, and she has an aggressive dog. And then she put the dog outside in the cold weather with no dog house, no water, no nothing, and I didn't think that was right either. I think it's a good dog that just needs proper training and needs to be taken care of appropriately, personally.
Anyone have any questions? Okay, Ms. Ireland?
The first incident with her, my kids are around the dog 24/7. I've never once told her that Java ever bit them, because she has never bit them.
No, she hasn't bit them. You said they were bitten by a different dog.
Okay.
It wasn't
Well,
her.
that's-
Java never bit your children, according to what I know. You
Okay.
never said that she did.
I thought that's just what you said.
No.
And the first incident, she wasn't petting her on the bottom. They were standing in front of Java. All of us were. Allison, me. I was behind her, getting ready to start her hair. And the dog was in between my legs. Cadence was in front of my dog, and so was her daughter. She went down to touch her forehead, and then that's when Java jumped up on her and knocked her over. So I believe that it wasn't a bite, because if you look at the wounds, they're literally scratches. So I believe that it was her paws to get, because she was so confined with everyone just standing around. So I don't believe, because she's not an aggressive dog at all. Like, I have 3 children, and she's great with them. And like I said, she's only 1 year old. So she sleeps with my kids every night. She's so lovable. I have people, like I said, I have people coming in and out every day. But I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I will do whatever it takes to get her back, because I don't want her killed. Because I was giving her to my friends so we wouldn't have any more of these issues. But if I don't take her back, then they said they were going to have to euthanize her. So I will do whatever it takes to not have her killed, because she is a good dog.
So why have you complied with the order?
I am complying with the order. I never said I wasn't.
But she's still impounded, correct?
Yes, because we just moved into this house 2 months ago, and we've put a lot of money and effort into this house, and we have a 4-foot fence. She's never once jumped the fence, and we've already made arrangements to have our fence built, but it's not going to be built to the end of July, beginning of August, and that is pretty much the only thing I have problems with, because we're getting married in a month, and we don't have the money right this second. Half of it for the fence has already been paid for, but it's not coming until the end of July. So that's my thing, is the whole fence appealing. Everything else I'm fine with.
So could you do a kennel? for?
We don't have the money. Like, I don't have 2 pennies to my name. I mean, I leave on an airplane in 6 weeks, so, I mean, I will have the fence, it's just not gonna be done tomorrow, is the issue. She doesn't jump the fence. She loves to be outside, she's in the backyard, she's never once even put her paws over the fence, so that's my thing. And usually when I do have people over with kids, they are outside, so. And we do have a crate, so if that's an issue too, she can go in the crate. We do have a crate. I have locked rooms.
Are you still planning to give her away?
Well, I can't now because then she would.
If you work through this hypothetically, you get the dog back, what's the disposition of the dog at that point? Are you going to keep it?
Yeah, well, we would have to because if not, the other person would have to go through all of this. Correct, right?
Okay. That's my
So,
understanding.
and the person that we gave it to, they don't have the money to do any of these things either. So, the best interest of the dog is to stay with us because I don't want to see her die. She's just a puppy. She just turned 1.
Okay.
January 11th, she turned 1. So, she is just a puppy.
Is that correct, Officer Beckner, what she stated, that if they don't comply with the PDO, the dog stays here, then it'll be destroyed?
Yeah, 'cause I can't adopt her out.
Okay.
Not that she's deemed detention.
I understand. No, I'm trying to make sure that's correct.
And that's my biggest fear. She's not an aggressive dog, and she loves children, and she loves my kids to death. And my kids love her. I mean, they've been crying every single day asking when their Java's coming home, so.
Has she been spayed?
She gets spayed tomorrow. I've already paid for it, made the appointment. She is spayed and microchipped tomorrow.
Officer Beckner, have you been out to the property to see if she's in compliance or not? Okay. So you've not seen the existing fence?
I mean, the way she's explained to me is a standard chain link,
Okay.
fence. I don't have any history of the dog ever jumping. And that was the discussion that we had is she kept saying that she wished that this was being done sooner because they are putting a 6-foot stockade fence in and it's already paid for. So unfortunately, it's just not being done like now. It's not until July. Now, the only thing I did advise her and stuff is that, whatever decision that we make here today is that if it's, I did explain to her that if it's already paid for, that I would like to see a bill of sale in reference to the 6-foot privacy fence, because that is one of the requirements that we can do.
Can you meet all the other requirements of the PDO except for the fencing at this time?
Yes.
And the only other concern that I have is that if it's knowing that she can comply with the conditions, and if it is in your best interest to allow the 4-foot fence until the privacy is put in, is that this dog should be under supervision if it's outside.
Would you have a problem finding someone to supervise the dog when you're not home? You're going to be away for how long for your,
My mother will be there, and she lives with us.
okay.
So,
May I ask a question? Am I allowed to? Sure. Actually, you're getting married in St. Thomas. Your mother's going to your wedding, isn't she? So, if you're not there, who's going to watch your dog?
my boyfriend's grandparents are taking her for 4 days. My mom's going to be gone for 4 days, and then she's coming back.
I'm just concerned because I just don't want to see this. My dog is great with my child. She's great with my daughter because that's part of the inner circle of the family. I'm sure she's great with your children. What I'm concerned about is she's bit 2 people under the age of 3 in less than a 3-week time span. I'm saying this to you guys that I really hope, whatever parameters, because I don't want to see the dog get put down, that dog is put in a situation where it can be set up for success and it can be safely taken care of. I don't want to see the dog die, but I want the dog to go through training and be in a good place so that they don't have any more issues.
Yeah.
'Cause it's really scary to me because I think there's a big lot of accountability. If your dog bit 2 people in that time span, that should have been prevented. And the dog, you were on the other side of the room, clearly bit my daughter in the face. She didn't scratch her in the face. She bit her in the face. I was watching it happen. I just don't want to see that happen to somebody else.
No.
I want her to be part of your family. I want her to be with your kids, but I just want it to be safe for everyone.
But you lied when you said your daughter was behind Java. She was in her face. So
She was next to Java,
No,
petting her
she was
like
in her
this.
face. I was right next to it, and so was Cadence.
You
so.
were across the room mixing
No, I
hair
wasn't. I was
coloring.
behind
We don't need to
We
argue.
don't need
This
that.
is
Yeah,
not-
yeah,
this is not a
obviously
pertinent
an
detail.
incident happened.
As far as the order goes, you have questions about the safety of other people coming.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she has clients coming to the house, the dog is required to be in a key locked room the whole time. So
That's great.
that would, prevent a lot of those.
I think that's great.
What are the,
But-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I was just going to address, I think another reason why she has concern and stuff is that if she's going to be away, on her honeymoon or getting married in St. Thomas and the dog's going to be with the grandparents, obviously if this order sticks today, those conditions, not saying that they can comply with everything, but, the dog should be, basically stay at the house. I mean, is that what you're planning on
Yes.
doing? Okay, so the grandparents are coming to the house?
Yes.
Okay, because I think that a lot of times people's concerns if the dog is being transferred from a home to a home, whether it's being watched, it's no different a dog going into a boarding facility. Not necessarily do they have these to follow, so they don't want another incident to take place. So I think that's probably the route she's taken, and that's the way I agree that the dog still needs to be make sure it's maintained so we don't have another incident,
Can-
even if it's being watched.
Can grandparents, someone that age, my age,
Yes.
manage that dog?
They have been around her.
That's
They
not what
love-
I'm
yes,
asking
Yes,
you.
but I do have something to say though. Like, would it be, because they do boarding, right? Like, would it be, could we board her for the time we're gone? Like, would that be an option? Like,
What are
it's
the-
just to say
What are the dates you're gonna be,
that
That your
I'm going
grandpa-
to be gone.
what are the dates you're gonna be gone and the dates your grandparents are gonna have custody of the animal?
Okay, we are gone the 11th
Of
of May through the 22nd. My mother is coming home on the 17th.
So your mom's gonna be gone from the 11th to the 17th?
Yes,
It's more than 4 days, I think.
It's 6 days, 5 days.
5.
6 days.
12 through
12,
the
13,
sorry, it's
14,
Tuesday.
16, 17, that's 6 days.
It's 5, so it's Tuesday, the 12th, whatever Tuesday is.
See, the only thing concern that I have with a boarding facility is, and I can't say that I don't have dogs that have orders that are in boarding facilities and stuff, is that if she's never been in a boarding facility situation before, that could stress her. It could get to a point where she could lash out, and I don't want that to happen. If it's comfortable in the home and around somebody that is, used to the dog and been around the dog and the dog is comfortable with that person, as long as they can comply with this in any situation, not saying that they're only watching the dog, I don't think they're gonna have people coming to the house, where she's with somebody she's very familiar with, instead of somebody not.
Officer Beckman, can animal control do the boarding for the animal for
We don't
the
have
short
it
time
open
it's here?
boarding, no. I mean, that would have to go through the administrator.
It will, okay. Okay.
And the dog's been here since when?
She has been here since
This
March
situ-
18th.
The situation she's in now is stressful for the dog.
Yeah, she's been here since March.
Yes,
That's 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
and I've asked if we could get her back, but they said to wait until the court date, so. And Officer Beckner said she has been great, friendly. She showed me 2 other dogs, one that's very aggressive and one that's very scared. And then she showed me Java, and she's like, she's very lovable. She loves everyone. She licks the bench. She cries. She whines like any normal dog. And my kids have been up to see her, and she's so happy. So she showed me 3 different types of dogs and said that Java is great. So.
But keep in mind, we're talking about her home environment. I don't want her to, dogs that are in here is going to act differently than they were in the home environment. It's basically protecting you because of liability, the conversation we had over and over and over again. I just don't want to see her put in this situation knowing that they're going to be gone where she is around people that she doesn't know. Because could it cause something? You know, can they comply with this? Because like I said, a lot of my older dogs that are boarded, this is a boarding facility that's had the dog, seen the dog for most of its life. So they're familiar with the dog and they can abide by these rules because the dogs are used to seeing them every time
they're
they go
used to
away.
it.
Yeah, not somebody that's just walking right into the door because they may not accept it because of the fact that it having an order.
Okay.
Miss Ireland?
Yes.
Have you looked into boarding the dog at Everhart, your regular veterinarian,
No,
for the time you're away?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
If that's what I have to do, then I will do it.
Officer Beckner, one last question. If we uphold this PDO and she's going to board the dog at Everhart, will animal control contact Everhart? Or
Yes.
how's that communication done?
I contact the business manager there. I give them a copy of this order.
Okay.
I send everything down to them and basically advise them to, you know, follow it based upon what they have at their facility to do so.
Okay, very good, thank you.
And it's going to be whether, and not to interrupt, but it's going to be whether or not they're going to accept.
Yeah.
You know.
Does anyone else have any further questions?
Ms. Harlan, the commission's come to a unanimous decision, and we've decided to uphold the PDO as issued. And if you're unhappy with that decision, you can appeal our recommendation to the Board of Appeals.
So what does that mean? You're not going to wait until July for the fence?
It means we're not making any changes, but animal control does need to discuss that situation with you. So Officer Beckner's going to discuss this with you, you know, any potential, you know, allowances as far as the fence goes and the contract goes. The commission are upholding the order as it stands.
Okay.
Officer
Can you
Beckner-
give me like 2 minutes?
Yeah,
real quick
Officer
with her?
Beckner is going to
Okay.
go and discuss this with you, but the order stands.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I go?
Okay.
No, you're fine.
I'm going to have to put her down.
Melissa, come here for a minute. 2 minutes. Sorry.
Come on, Gigi. Let's go.